Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or whenever it is that you might be joining in to do an express 35-minute yoga flow. Um, and as far as anything that you might need for the class, nothing really. If you have a towel or a small blanket, I've taken mine and I've rolled it up a few times, or made it into just quite a flat roll, just for the end of towards the end of class. It'll be to support a heart opener, so it'll be coming in behind the upper back like that, somewhere in that direction. And we might use it for the head also, but we don't need it right now. And if you don't have it, don't worry about it. So thanks for coming. It's a gorgeous sunny snow day here. And my name's Kathy, for those of you that haven't done a class with me before. So we're just going to start standing, and I'm going to, once you do come to your mat, I'm going to ring a bell just as a way of coming into the body. There's, from wherever it is that you're coming, more likely than not, there's been a lot of focus and operating from the neck up. So we're just going to use the sound of the bell to drop us into the ground and into physical sensations. So here we go. Standing, your eyes could be softly open or completely closed, doesn't matter. Taking in the entirety of your body, standing in this shape, and there's no need to try to correct or have any particular posture. Just feel the presence of ground meeting the feet, wherever that might be. The toes, the heels, the balls of the feet. Well, maybe you can feel your arches, a little bit of space for that area of the foot, the center of the foot. Allowing your awareness to drop. You might just visualize all of that activity that's been going on above the neck, the face, the brain, the skull, just kind of rolling down and landing in the feet. Feeling the structure of this body, the skeleton, the bones of the legs, those big femur bones that are supporting the structure of the pelvis. Again, supporting the spine and the weight of the shoulders, the arms, and the skull. Just resting here for a moment as you begin to notice other things that are also being experienced in the body. Maybe it's the breath, some movement there. Maybe there's a field of hearing as you take in some of the sounds of other members of your household or things that are going on in the room or the street. Along with, for sure, the mental activity. Where am I going from here, or being hooked into some anticipation of what's yet to come? Maybe some issues that you've been chewing on this morning, just aware of it all as events that are passing through, just like sounds and just like breath. Start to just jiggle a little bit and feel some vibration moving through the knees, the ankles, the shoulders, the flesh in the body starting to jiggle. And just let the heels lift. So just feel a bit of a bouncing feeling as the weight comes into the balls of the feet and the hips, or the heels lift off the ground. Yeah, the hips, I can already, my mental activity is moving upwards. So that's okay, just feeling what you're feeling here as you start to Just bounce it out. Some sensations in the shoulders and the fingers, maybe even in the jaw. You can hear my voice has a little bit of a rattle in it. That vibration is connecting with the diaphragm at the throat area. So just keep going a little bit. Get some synovial fluids moving. Maybe you bounce around a little more. You can come right off and take some air if you like. A little bit of twisting and just shaking it out. And then we'll take a few clearing breaths or just kind of throws with our arms so we can reach the arms up. Just stop the legs or slow down that bouncing, breathing in, and then exhale. Just throw something away. Ha. Inhale. And ha. Exhale. One more time, breathing in. And exhale. And then if you can, just let your chin come to your chest. You can take your feet comfortably wide apart and fold over your legs. If you feel a little bit shaky or dizzy here, then take some deeper breaths. Bend the knees a little bit more. And of course, you can always come up. Let's take another deep breath in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth, and on empty, just start to roll up through the entire spine. Loop the shoulders up around the ears and just take a couple of those. Just maybe open your eyes to get centered again and take in your surroundings. Keep the awareness in the feet, in the lower regions of the body, in the legs. Staying with that, just that platform and that stable base of ground. As you roll the shoulders out one more time. Good. And then as a way of opening up to breathing, then take your right hand and just come around to sort of the back of your neck and give a really firm press down just across and over to the right side of your chest. And do that a couple of times. This is a flat palm. This might even feel nice in the shoulder and the upper back a little bit. So this is freeing up that diaphragm that's at the throat. And making some space for the breath to just flow easier, which will help with anxiety. And do the other side. Also feels good, just like a little neck massage, that flat hand coming around to wherever it is that you can reach to, and give a firm press with the palm just across and over to the left side of the chest. Just do that a couple more times. Good. Come back to center. Let's reach the arms up. We'll do some half Sun Salutations and then fold over the legs. Come up halfway, press the hands to the shins or the thighs and let the shoulders soften away from the ears. Take a breath in and exhale, fold over the legs. Press into the feet and come all the way up, breathing in. And then let's exhale and do that again. Fold over the legs. We're building up a little bit of heat. Come up halfway, inhale. And exhale, take it down again. Ripple up. Open the arms, breathing in. And then folding over the legs. Exhale. Let's come up halfway this time and we'll do a full Surya Namaskar A. Bend the knees, plant the palms or fists, and step the left leg back. And then step the right leg back. And just find a plank pose and shift the weight forward and back a few times and press to the inner palm. Let's take the knees down now. Take a breath in there. Squeeze the elbows in a little bit. Just come down a couple of inches and then press up. Inhale and exhale a couple of inches. Send the breastbone forward. Press it back up. Inhale. Exhale. Come all the way down and take the legs a little bit long. Bring the fingers wide and draw the chest through into a baby cobra. Let's take a look underneath the right arm as we lift the elbows. And then back through center. And exhale, looking to the left. Inhale through center. Again, not coming up too high. We're just warming up, feeling the counter pose to all of the sitting and looking at a screen. And exhale, lay it back down. Slide the hands back. Let's curl the toes under and press it into a child's pose and
Take 3 breaths there, pressing away from the palms and stretching out the bottoms of the feet for 2. And 1, shift through a tabletop shape. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. So come into a cow. And then exhale, curve it into a cat. Come to a neutral tabletop, breathing in. Exhale, just hover the knees. And then press the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. And we'll take 3 breaths there. And you can stay in the child's pose or an extended child's pose anytime. Wrapping the upper arm bones towards each other underneath to open up the armpits, and maybe having a deep bend at the knees to give the hamstrings some time to warm up for 1 more inhale. Exhale, walk the feet towards the hands. Loop the shoulders, come up halfway, and then fold over the legs. Exhale. Press into the feet and come all the way up. Breathe in there. Take the left wrist and take a side stretch over to the right, pressing down through the left foot. Let's take a few breaths there into the left side of the ribs. Can just move around with your head a little bit too, maybe. Open and close the jaw. And back up through center and switch. Take the right wrist with the left hand up and over. Stay with the feet. Stay anchored into body when mind starts to just get hijacked a little bit into some future planning or worrying. Let's come back to the feet. Inhale through center and let's fold over the legs again. Lengthen halfway, breathing in. Bend knees, plant the palms under the shoulders. Let's go right leg back this time. And then the left leg back. Lifting the belly, tapping the knees down. Take a breath in there. Let's go down just a couple of inches again. Narrow the elbows and press straight back up. Strength of the core as you lower a little bit. And inhale, press it up. Exhale, come all the way down. Stretch the legs out, and this time, let's have the forehead come onto the hands with the palms facing down and lift the elbows. Stretch the legs nice and long. You can pick up one and then the other. Point the toes and then lift the elbows and lift the head with the hands as well. So you're not coming up super high. You're just coming to a place where the belly feels like it's engaged, it's drawing in, and there's no pain in the lower back. Let's swing the arms open, maybe into that cactus shape with the elbows lifted a bit. And you can do any sorts of movements with the hands here, with the arms straightening out a little bit, some swimming, some breaststroke. Or you can bring the arms all the way back and see what that feels like, how the shoulder blades contract in towards each other. Let's do a few more, just whatever swishy movements, clearing out the cobwebs there. And then lower the forehead, bring the palms down towards the low ribs. Let's press it up and back again and take that child's pose. Curl the toes under, sending the weight back towards the heels for 3 breaths there, or if it's feeling good to stretch the feet a little more, then sit right back on the heels for 2 more breaths. If you're sitting up, maybe shrug the shoulders, breathing in. Exhale, open mouth. Inhale. Exhale. And back to hands and knees to the tabletop shape. And a cow pose as you breathe in. Exhale, peel the belly up and back into cat. Inhale, neutral, curl the toes under and just hover the knees. Send the hips up and back, downward facing dog again for 3 breaths, or just come to the knees. That's 1. The belly moving back towards the thighs, the hamstrings moving to the back wall, maybe still quite a bend at the knees for 2. There's no destination here, just feeling into body, just keeping with the ground, with the palms, with the feet. Let's high on the tiptoes on the breath in and walk it forward, exhale. Lengthen halfway, breathing in and fold on the exhale. Press into the feet and come all the way up. Inhale, take the right wrist, exhale over to the left. And then back through center and switch. Good, let's move on here. Let's fold over the legs. Lifting up through the center of the chest on the inhale and then exhale, releasing back down. Just going to step the right leg back and stretch out through the back heel. Press up through the hamstring. If you like using books or blocks, you can have those underneath your hands here. Drawing the left hip crease back and then tapping the right knee to the floor. And then press out through the right heel, inhale. Tap right knee, exhale. One more time, press out there. And then tap that knee down. And then walk the hands to the inside of your left foot. You can take your left toes out a little bit there. I'll just face this direction. Left toes move out a little bit and resting on that right knee. You could also put your towel or blanket underneath the right knee. So toes are turned out. I'm going to walk the hands wide now on either side of that foot and walk the heel in a little bit, but keep the toes turned out. And so kind of a lizard, we're going to rock back and forth a bit with the hips. You can lift up the bottom of the left foot and then press the left big toe back to the floor. Just rock out side to side, getting into those really tight glute and hip muscles. Lots of sitting, or maybe you're hiking or skating, taking advantage of the nice weather. Good. One more time through, over to the left. And then come back to center. Keep the weight just in the right palm and let your left hand come up to your left inner thigh and roll those muscles away from center. Energetically though, plug that thigh bone into hip socket. As you start to drop the right ribs or wrap them under a little bit and look over the left shoulder. So it's quite a lot of deep stretch for the right hip flexor. You can stay here. You can experiment with picking up the right shin. Only reach for it if it's right there within your reach. It's not for me right now. So you can be reaching, but you're working that the hamstring muscles a little bit on the right side. One more breath. And then back through center. And let's start to bring the left foot in a little bit there. Pick up the back knee. Press into the palms and step into downward facing dog. And shift through to plank pose, breathing in. Exhale, tap the knees and lower all the way down in one piece. Loop the shoulders, stretch the legs long and come through any variation of a cobra or the gecko shape with the fingers wide again. Extending through the breastbone and exhale to lower. Press the hands back, up through table and then downward facing dog. We'll just take one breath there. The left leg's going to lift up and open up the left hip. So turn the toes to face out, but try to keep the leg straight just for this one. Take another inhale, feeling that length all through both side bodies. And then parallel the hips again and draw the left knee towards the nose, shift the shoulders forward, lift that heel nice and high. And then step the left foot up. Just take one breath there in the low lunge. And then exhale, straighten out the left leg. You could have the right knee down if you prefer. We'll do a couple rocking lunges. Just come forward on the inhale and then peel it back on the exhale. Just moving with breath. Inhale and exhale. And then shift forward to low lunge again, breathing in. Push off the back foot and step it up to meet the front foot. Folding over the legs. Let's come all the way up, breathing in. And exhale, trace the center line. Moving over to the second side, inhale. And fold, exhale. Halfway lengthen, breathing in. And exhale here. This time it'll be the left leg stepping back, just coming into your low lunge. So the hips will stay fairly level where they are, and we'll tap the back knee down, exhale, and then press out through the back heel. So try not to lift the hips too high. Exhale, back knee taps. We're really opening the front body, the hip flexors, iliopsoas. One more time, tap. And then straighten that leg out. Take another breath in there. And exhale, the back knee can come down again. We'll walk the hands to the inside to start with, and just to make some space to turn the right toes out now. Keeping the back knee down, and if you need something underneath it, go ahead there. Toes are turned out maybe 45 degrees. Might feel better to take your hands outside of that foot and walk it in a little bit. So you can start to rock side to side with the hips. And have a peek underneath to look at your right foot as the sole of the foot lifts up and the right hip rocks to the right. Keep that ankle in strong flexion to protect the knee. Let's do a couple more just swishes here. You can even do a little sort of a circle with your hips. There's no right or wrong. Shifting back to place the right foot on the floor, and then the left hand can come right off your mat. Use your right thumb in the hip crease, kind of roll those muscles away from center and either stay here. Or looking out over the right shoulder. You might try bending the left knee. Maybe you might, for some reason, I'm able to reach on this side, but just kind of working within those boundaries of good manners towards what's here in the body right now. One more breath. Exhale, release and come back. So wiggle yourself back to low lunge. One breath there. And then pick up the back knee and try with the front leg coming a little straighter. Make sure your feet aren't on the same train track. Have them on separate train tracks, and then sit into the lunge. Exhale, take it up and back. You could have the back knee down if you prefer, just for these rocking lunges, shifting a couple of times. This last time, coming forward, picking up the back knee, put some weight in the hands, and step back, downward facing dog. And we'll bring the big toes a little closer together and take the right leg up and back. And then open up that hip. Keep the leg on the straighter side and square the shoulders, pressing into both palms. Good. Level the hips again. Bend the right knee towards the nose and really lift your seat up high. And then step the right foot up. One breath in the low lunge. And exhale, step the feet together at the front. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold. Turn the toes out a little bit now. And we're going to come down towards the squat. You could take that blanket roll and place it underneath your heels. Might make it a little bit more accessible. The hands can stay on the floor. If you don't need the blanket roll, you don't have to. Hands can stay on the floor, or hands can come into prayer. And if you're there, then just kind of work with the elbows and the inner thighs or the knees, squeezing in towards each other. And we'll take 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Let your spine round now. Bring the hands to the back of the skull and just let the weight of the head settle there. And we're going to release the hands and bring them around behind ourselves to sit down and give the legs a shake out. Let's lean back for a second. Just drop the knees over to one side with the feet pretty wide apart. Let's all go to the right. So drop the left shin and give it a little press there. Your left hip will definitely be lifted. Inhale, center, and then press the right shin down. So the right hip is lifted. And come through center. And we'll take just a seated child's pose. So give yourself a hug there. Staying connected now with the ground, through the feet, through the seat, through wherever it is that you'll feel connected for the next few minutes. And so this blanket can be used as a long pillow for your head. If you don't need it, that's fine. We'll use it for something else as well, or a towel. And if you don't have it, it'll be fine. But if you come down onto your back and then just shift over so that you can lie down on your left hip. I'm going to use this just low roll and stretching the arms out so the right palm is on top of the left palm. Knees are facing the side. They can be higher up or lower down. You're going to reach a little bit forward with the right arm so the tip of the nose rolls towards the floor, and then make a big circle with the right arm beyond the head. You might need to take a ponytail holder out and then open. That arm doesn't have to straighten out or reach all the way to the side. Just explore a big circle down towards the hip and back towards the left palm. And then trace it again. Just do that a couple of times, going around that loop. You can adjust your knees to wherever it feels best for your back. And then let's take it back to where the palms meet. Reach a little further. So let your head roll towards the floor. And then keep the right fingers tracing along the left forearm. Just draw the elbow straight back like you're pulling on a bow and arrow. And then bring it back one more time. Exhale. And then roll again to drag the fingers across the chest. And maybe there you open up the arms or just a cactus shape. The left hand could come to the right thigh. And maybe the gaze is to the ceiling or over the right shoulder if your right shoulder is heavy to the ground. You can just keep your right arm kind of low to your side if that's better. Or even stretch it beyond and kind of on a diagonal away from your body. And we'll take 3 breaths on this side. That's 1, 2, 3. And just roll into center. Give your knees a squeeze. Exhale. Place the feet on the floor. And then switch over to the other side, second side. So we'll line up so that the head might have a little bit of support on a very flat pillow. Knees are over towards the right and the palms are coming towards meeting. Reach the left fingers a little further forward. And then inhale, trace that circle beyond the head. Doesn't mean that your fingers are coming down or anything. Might be different on this side. Just open a little bit. And then the left arm could be quite bent as you start to guide it down towards the hips and then circling back to the starting point, and do a couple of those. Close to the ground, close to what's here. Breath is always in the present. Sound is in the present. Thoughts are always coming and going, always about something that's future or past oriented. Let's bring the palms back to the starting point now and try that other way. So trace the left fingertips across the right forearm, keep the elbow bent and bow and arrow, draw back. Exhale, bring the hands back towards each other, roll the head towards the floor. And then inhale, pull back the bow and arrow and open, and just stay here. You can adjust that left arm. It can stretch out or rest down by your side. The right hand to the left thigh to give a little more encouragement to lengthen that whole fleshy area in that upper thigh. Exhaling for 3, 2, and 1. Shifting onto the back once again. Bringing the knees in towards the chest for a squeeze. And then let the legs float up towards the ceiling and do some shaking. Shake the arms as well and jiggle just like we did at the beginning, just keeping the fluids moving. Can hold your inner thighs or your outer thighs with your hands and let your legs open up if that feels okay. And just play a bit, circle the ankles out a couple times. And keep the tailbone on the floor, point and flex the toes. Let the knees come towards the armpits and just let the heels be heavy there. So if you need to bring the knees back together, if that feels safer, then you can do that. Otherwise, this really soft version of happy baby pose. Space for belly, connection with the entire spine. All of the communication centers from the brain to the spine are a little bit freer. And we'll bring the feet to the floor. And then with that blanket, if you have it, I'm just going to slide it down so it'll be underneath the shoulder blades. So this is what I was just showing at the beginning. So it'll be sort of there. If you need a little something else underneath your head, you might just roll the mat up. Let's see how that feels. This is one way to do the supported heart opener, to drape your shoulders. So the tops of your shoulders should be coming pretty close to the floor. So the legs are long, the arms are open wide, or you can keep the knees bent and the knees into touch. You could also use that long roll to come lengthwise, and that way it's kind of along the spine, not in your lower back, but your head might land on it. So you've got yourself set up. Softening the jaw, the eyes, dropping in to stillness here for the last couple of minutes, and I'll ring the bell to start us in and then to bring us out again. Rest and digest. You're welcome to use an anchor to softly harness your attention to sensations of breathing or the field of hearing as you allow this posture to integrate your practice. Befriending the body. Letting all the systems slow right down to the bare minimum, balancing the nervous system, coming out of the fight or flight. In a moment, you'll hear the sound of the bell again. See if you can be in no rush, or notice if there feels like there's a rush to get on with things. You can just listen to the vibration or hear it for just as long as you
you feel anything. If you'd like to stay for a longer rest, go for it. And if you're moving on with your day, just take a moment to wiggle things out a little bit, open and close the jaw. Roll over to one side. Press yourself up to take an upright posture, reorient to the spine. Notice how the body's feeling right now. And also just acknowledge others that are sharing this practice with a wish for the benefits of our time spent, giving some attention to our own inner experience, that those benefits also translate to be a little more skillful in listening to others on the path as well. Namaste.